So we've had the best with my films of the year 2023, and now it's time for the worst. I'm sure all of these filmmakers making the films I'm about to rip into went to work with the best of intentions, but for whatever reason they ended up with something I've regarded as a complete turkey this year. So here's my rundown of the top 10 turkeys of the year 2023 in the world of movies.
A group of mediums went into the house just a little north of here. It took 21 days. They worked their butts off and they got that deceased owner out of there. But they were all found. How old are you?
9.
Okay, I'm talking organs on the outside.
Oh,
9 is young.
It's not that young, girl. I was driving by 9.
At number 10, I've got The Haunted Mansion. This Disney offering, I'm afraid, was neither funny enough to be a comedy nor scary enough to be a horror movie, even for a younger audience. It just came over as a whole lot of special effects meh. It's unfortunate because Lakeith Stanfield, who has the title role, his acting is absolutely brilliant. But there you go.
People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this. Like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
2023 has unfortunately not been a good year for superhero movies, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was the nadir for me. A shed load of green screen nonsense with a dire script and actors who seemed to recognise that their dialogue was atrocious.
They're really doing this? She's throwing it to Michelle. Michelle catches the flowers. You get married next. Your life's all set.
I grew up wondering if I would be able to stand in front of someone and promise her the rest of my life. And here we are.
It was a reflex action.
It was the most awful moment in the whole history of women being stuck with you idiots.
At number 8, I have a movie on streaming called Maybe I Do. This was a romantic comedy that neither had romance nor was fun. William H. Macy, Diane Keaton, Richard Gere and Susan Sarandon are wasted on a dispiriting story of coincidences with marital infidelity and young love. Just terrible.
Mambo Italiano e mambo. Rome is a great walking city.
Delle donne, le viti più vecchie danno l'uva più dolce.
What did he say? The older the vines, the sweeter the fruit. Oh, yes, we still got it.
I'm delighted that you'll be joining us tonight.
There's no problem if 4 random women show up.
This is Italy. There's always room for random, beautiful women.
Gianni! Who is Gianni? What are you doing here?
This is my cooking school.
Wow.
At number 7, I've got The Book Club, The Next Chapter. This was a cinema release and it seemed to do quite a lot of good business with the silver dollar community. There are 2 films in my bottom 10 that seem to have been made purely so the cast and crew can have a nice European vacation. This is the first where 4 old acting veterans, Jane Fonda, Mary Steenburgen, Candice Bergen and Diane Keaton, team up with Don Johnson, Andy Garcia and Craig T. Nelson to creak their way through an equally creaky script. Keaton in particular gurns away like some crazed person in every scene. And the last 20 minutes, which for reasons I won't go into, I had to sit through twice, is sickeningly atrocious.
Miami Center. Is anyone there?
Say your tail number and intention.
Doug, what's going on?
I've got an emergency up here. My wife and daughters are on this plane.
I need you to stop a plane crash. You're the only person I know who can save them.
Have you flown a King Air?
Never.
At number 6, I have a film called On a Wing and a Prayer. This is bad. This is really bad. is a line of dialogue from the film and never a truer word spoken. The acting is pretty terrible, even from the normally reliable Dennis Quaid. The special effects are relatively shoddy, probably due to the low budget. And there is the most annoying character in the world in aviation enthusiast Donna, who mansplains basic aviation principle to her clueless pal. This is shocking and well worth avoiding.
How old are you?
You know, I'm just wearing my dead boyfriend's shirt and texting his old number.
Rob wanted to make sure you got one of these.
I have a phone.
You have a personal phone. This is a work phone.
I miss you so much. There's an aching inside of me. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, Miss Dion. Do you really believe in all these things you sing?
You obviously know nothing about it.
What?
Love.
At number 5, I have Love Again. This is a rom-com with no actual laughs in it at all. Celine Dion is in it, but boy oh boy is she a terrible actor, as you can probably gather from that last clip. Oh, and she's having her tour posters designed while she's rehearsing for her first performance. Like, what?
Los Angeles, the city of angels. More like the city of dirty little secrets. People pay me to look into the activities of its finest citizens. I'm a private detective. The name is Philip Marlowe.
I hear that you are looking for someone.
We're all looking for someone.
But I'll pay you $1,000 if you find him for me.
The puzzle has many pieces. I don't know what you're gonna find.
At my number 4 is Marlowe. Don't get me wrong, I quite like Liam Neeson films, and I also like film noir, but this is a real stinker. The dialogue is atrocious, as in head in the hands awful. The normally excellent Alan Cumming gets to spout some crazy pseudo-philosophical mumbo-jumbo, and his accent veers from somewhere south of Glasgow to the deep south of the US, often in the same sentence. And one of my one-to-watch stars, Danielle Melchior, is cringingly awful in a cameo appearance. It's all just a dreadful waste of celluloid.
Transporting 35 passengers on a long-range exploratory mission. Send help.
In my number 3 spot is 65. Now I know some people like this one, but I found it really bad. The script starts by having us believe that our hero Adam Driver can crash his spaceship onto a strange alien planet, which is obviously Earth, breaking into 2 pieces, and then he just unstraps his seatbelt and walks away from the wreckage. There are multiple other plot absurdities until an ending so coincidental that it made me go, oh no, they can't do this, they wouldn't do this, but they did. I thought it was going to have some clever Adam and Eve style ending that would have been a bit icky, but still better than what we got.
The Jennings holiday newsletter.
It's the most absurd thing ever. I would love to show up at her house uninvited and to see the actual truth.
Charlotte Sanders? Jackie Jennings? What are you doing here?
Are you sure you put the right address in your phone?
Of course I'm sure.
Surprise! Grab your bags. There is plenty of room here at the end.
At my number 2, I've got Best Christmas Ever. I found the general crop of new Christmas films on streaming this year generally awful, and I could have put others in this list as well, but this one is just acting as a placeholder for all of them. The film is teeth-achingly bad, with poor acting performances, a preposterous script, and an obnoxious premise. Brandy Norwood, who seems to be a favourite of my daughter's for some reason, overacts in every scene she's in like something possessed. Her Mariah-esque trilling was also not for me, I'm afraid. At one point, a hot air balloon hooks a Santa sleigh decoration and takes it skyward, with Heather Graham climbing down the ladder into the presumably loosely attached sleigh. Man, I was begging for it to come free and fall from a great height to bring the torture to an end. But no.
My father passed away, and his last wish was for us to visit his childhood village and reconnect with our roots. So, we're having a reunion. We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4! And by we, I mean the whole family.
Who wants souvlaki?
Paging souvlaki. Anybody by the name of souvlaki on this flight?
At my number 1, I have My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. My number 1 obviously needs to be something really, really crap, and this turkey excels at that. It's a great heap of festering moussaka and just seems to be just another sunny trip for the filmmakers. Unaccountably, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were co-producers of this film. But the script is terrible, throwing show don't tell into the garbage chute. The film starts by shamelessly using the elderly mother's dementia to hammer home the film's plot into the audience again and again and again. Eleanor Kampouris as Paris seems to be there purely to strip off and walk into the sea on a nudist beach. The plot is absurd, the comedy is non-existent. I was unable to find a single laugh in the whole film. So those are my turkeys for 2023. You might agree with some of them, you might disagree severely with some of them, but I'm sure you've got your own that you could add to the list as well. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to Flickering Dreams during 2024 and continue reading my reviews at onemansmovies.com.